Hello, I'm Alex Lopez, and I play drums for Suicide Silence. Here to talk about bullying and pretty much kids that are involved in social media, and not only on the computer, but in school as well. Any experiences I've had? Well, see, I've always been into like rock music, metal music, and stuff like that. And one of the first things I noticed when I was in elementary school is that it wasn't very. I think generations now are a little bit more luckier, because when I was growing up, I remember getting made fun of for wearing $20 Converse and having pants with rips in them. And now I used to be called like punk rocker, but I wasn't even punk. I liked punk rock, but I was going more. This is like back in '94, so I was going for like the whole Kurt Cobain look. And I guess what was more important to me is like I did feel like an outcast, and I always found a way to make friends with like the more quiet, timid people who had an interest in like drawing, or maybe just sitting by a tree and looking at leaves or whatever, talking about whatever. I was a victim of being bullied as far as I grew up in Whittier, which is LA County, and there's a lot of gangs around there. And what comes with gangs comes with people who have kids, and they're younger kids who are exposed to older family members that are in gangs. And pretty much a gang is just a group of people representing a neighborhood, if not a neighborhood, a certain part of a city. And it's not even a matter of like they're doing anything for their community. It mainly comes down to claiming your street, making money, and letting other people know that you're more inferior. So growing up, I was pretty much surrounded with a lot of people who were like that. And I just remember a couple gangs where I lived who had younger kids. Well, not younger kids, but the younger brothers. And I got made fun of for liking K-Rock, which is a radio station back there. They used to call me K-Rocker. And not only that, my mom's a teacher, and she taught next door. And, all she ever did was make sure that I was never involved in gangs and never dressed like the part of I was in a gang. And, I think it changes for wherever you live. I'm from LA, and it's a city, so it's like there's a lot more gang-related stuff, bullying. There's really no, like, jocks, high school type bullying. That doesn't really exist out there. I guess more people in middle America have to deal with other type of bullying, but the particular bullying I have, maybe some people have the same bullying. It's just a lot of naive kids out there who don't really know anything except for what their older brothers teach them, which is like, I guess it really has nothing to do with the music. It's mainly just gang-related stuff, like people claiming streets and people whose parents are in prison because they went to jail for claiming their area, and they've been there ever since and killed people, and now their younger kids have to fulfill a task, and the only way they can deal with it is to be inferior around people. I guess what's more important for people out there, it's always know that whatever happens, you can't really avoid being bullied or being picked on, especially if you're younger and you don't have a group of friends that can help you like get away from it. Best thing to do is, for parents out there, is to motivate your kids. A lot of kids out there, maybe they get bullied on home by their parents, and they get bullied at home by their dad or their brothers, who these younger kids are at their parents' disposal, and these kids probably are victims of alcohol abuse and stuff like that, and they go to school and they're getting picked on at school, and then I wouldn't be surprised if stuff like that. I guess it's important for parents out there to really, really support your kids and to let them know that, look, like, my older brother, we used to live in East LA, which is like gang territory, and my brother used to get picked on a lot, and I remember this because my dad used to make fun of him. But my brother's a sweetheart. He's very, very genuine, very soft, and he would come for a couple of years. He'd come home, he would be hungry and eating and stuff like that. My dad would be like, "Why don't you buy food and lunch?" He would get really quiet. one day my dad stood and dropped him off from school and saw the kids that picked on him and used to take my brother's lunch money. And then my dad always told him, it's like, you know, you're going to have to stand up for yourself, and if you're not the violent type like my brother, you're going to have to just deal with whatever. But I mean, there's going to come a point where you are going to have to stand for yourself, whether it's ignoring it and moving on or doing something about it. Make a stand. Don't think that it's the end of the world. Don't think that you're reduced to trash because of this type of thing. It's easy for someone to get bummed out over something someone says on the internet. I'm a big product of that. I mean, coming from Suicide Silence, you know, we're a band that's based off of simple melodies. I mean, most kids these days can tell you that Suicide Silence isn't fast enough, isn't technical enough, isn't, you know, I can list a bunch of bands that are more faster and more brutal and death metal than us, but I've always felt that it's about being pure. It's like the albums that I love are all simple. I mean, I grew up listening to Metallica, Nirvana, Deftones, Korn, and a lot of those bands are probably a lot older than what you guys listen to, but those bands are the ones that the bands that help me.
That's what I listen to.
Oh yeah, it's the bands that I listen to, and it made me realize that's the kind of music I want to play. I'm not in here. I didn't grow up on Origin, or I mean, I like certain bands like Behemoth and stuff like that, but I'm not a crazy fast elitist death metal drummer. And reading stuff about my skills and how I play, you know, can bum me out. But at the end of the day, most of those bands that are playing 1,000,000 miles an hour are playing in front of 3 people. And I'd rather play 3 notes and play in front of 3 million people an hour. That doesn't make sense. But it's like the switch scenario, you know. I don't know. I mean, every person has their own idea of what they consider bullying. I mean, some people can consider me a bully on tour with my crew, maybe getting mad about stuff, and like this goes here, and like my drum techs, all my drum techs have probably been bullied by me. But I think there's a fine line between being bullied by an ignorant person or being, I guess, being lectured and being not necessarily tormented, but being aware of how a person's feeling by respect. Like anyone could yell at somebody and be like, you need to do this, you need to do that, but if you don't respect that person, then you know they're not telling you for your own good. Most of the time I'm teaching my techs and people why this cable does this, and what a line splitter is, and why I use 3 XLRs instead of 2, like, and I'm getting mad and bullying them and making fun of them and why they don't know that. But in reality, I'm shedding light and knowledge on something that it's very important, especially if someone wants to be involved in the music scene, in the music genre. You got to really know what's around. And I mean, it just depends what you consider bullying, but you know, get over it. Don't take it too much to heart. Don't ever. It's really easy to get bummed out over what somebody says online, and most of the time people say stuff online just because they know someone else is going to read it and someone else is going to laugh about it. And think of all the things that you've ever laughed about that someone said about something, and in reality it's just a laugh and it's a new day tomorrow, and there's no need to get really bummed out about it. And if you're dealing with any type of harassment in school or any group of people that are bugging you, I mean, there's several ways to go about it, but in reality, those people that are picking you are probably people that are dealing with the same thing. They probably have nothing to do in their life, and they're probably going to end up serving you burgers when you get older while you're on break because you're assistant manager of a really good company or a really good job or something like that. I mean, I could think of at least 20 people who always rubbed me the wrong way in high school, and now that I am I've always been the type of person that wanted to play music. I play guitar, I play drums, I play bass, piano, trumpet, everything. I record music, I do live sound for bands. I'm just an all-around type of person. I'm an artist. I draw, I paint, I charcoal. I try to do everything. My mom's very inspirational. I mean, she's always inspired me. If I brought home a chalk drawing of a stick man, she made it seem like it's the best stick man I've ever done. So I was always motivated to do stuff, and I've always followed what I wanted to do, and now I'm doing this, and it's what I've wanted to do. And I could think of a lot of people that are probably not doing what they want to do. And in other words, haters are motivators.